All right, just a real short announcement. I was going to put this at the end of one of my other videos, but it was just way too damn long. Nobody's going to sit through a 15-minute video and then listen to another minute and a half of announcements. It's just not going to happen. So I'll put it all in one place right here. You can watch it, you can not. No big deal. And if you're new here, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell. I try to do this every day, just a quick vlog of me driving around. So it can get entertaining. I've almost hit a bird a couple of times. I watch people do stupid shit in traffic and I talk about it, but I also talk about what else is going on in my life. That's just this is how I roll with this particular vlog series. But I have decided to do a point-by-point analysis, and I know I said that I don't like to get political, but I want to do a point-by-point analysis on the most neutrally political document at our disposal, and that is the U.S. Constitution. I want to do the articles and the amendments because people seem to think that the Bill of Rights is the only part of the document that exists. It is not. The first 10 amendments, as good as they are, still allowed people to be kept as property. So, like, the rest of those amendments were very much needed. The Constitution, with the articles and the first 10 amendments, were simply not sufficient, and that's why it's amended as often as it is. And I'll do those, probably not as in-depth as I do the Bill of Rights version of the Constitution. I'll do the other 16. I forget how many there are, and I'm going to talk about it. What do you know? So I think it's 26, 27, somewhere in there. Anyway, I'll do the rest of them probably in shorter bursts, maybe a couple at a time, like the 13th and the 14th Amendments happened in the years following the Civil War. They freed the slave, well, they allowed people to vote and allowed everybody to be treated equally under the law, which you would think should be kind of like not a necessary thing, you know. So we'll also talk about a few other things that are not being observed as they should be, and that's the full faith and credit between the states. There's some really cool stuff in the Constitution, and most people don't even know it's there. Is that still rolling? Okay. I got a phone call from somebody that I'm not going to answer. Anyway, so yes, full faith and credit. There's really interesting stuff in the Constitution. I don't know why that happened. It's a good song, but I don't know why that happened. Anyway, I can't play music on my channel if I didn't write it or don't have permission. So, yes, there's really interesting stuff in the Constitution. Most people don't even know it's there. It's amazing. So I want to do like the first 10 as great as they were, and then I want to go into the rest of them. And I want to spend a little bit of time in the articles. Most people don't know that those are there. They think that the Constitution ends and begins with the Bill of Rights, and that's simply not true. I get tired of debating people on whether or not the government has the right to do something that's clearly delineated in the Constitution, and it was hard for me to say delineated. That is very weird. I don't even know if that's the right word. I'm just rolling with it, whatever. So it's just really super interesting to see people's reactions and to hear my interpretation of it. I have education on the topic. It should be a relatively easy thing for me to research, but with that being said, I'm not going to rely on my own interpretation. I'm going to get legit documentation that basically explains what they all mean and what they don't mean. And I'll get into that a little bit too. So, anyway, with that being said, this is already getting on, excuse me, to a 5-minute video that I didn't want to be a 5-minute video. And I think that's pretty much long enough. Anyway, I'm 3D. This has been Tales from the Driver's Seat, and I will see you tomorrow.